Tennessee is the sixth most watched uh, college football team in the nation. So there is an inherent value there that a lot of schools don't have. You had the question, does the NCAA or college football need Tennessee to be good? And I say absolutely yes. Need or want, we could debate that word. But yes, Tennessee, and it's obvious with what you guys, the fans, did and showing up for game after game after game, and some games that were not that meaningful last season. Yeah. And I think Kirk Herbstreit has said it. When Tennessee's better, college football is better. I think it's one of those 15 or so programs when they're better, Tennessee's that college football is better, Caleb. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I was surprised to see them sixth most watched. That seemed pretty high to me.
Yes, and so to bring up the stats, Alabama was the most watched team, and then Ohio State was second. Colorado was third, but that's the Deion saga. And Georgia was fourth, and Michigan was fifth. Michigan won the national title. Michigan and Alabama played in the most watched college football playoff game ever. Ohio State and Georgia were in the national title run until the last week of the regular season or the conference championship week when they each both lost their first game. Colorado had Deion Sanders. All of those were splash stories. Tennessee was a 9-4 team. So it was weird for them to be sixth. Now, this is, guys, I got to tell you, this is why Dave and I are so excited for covering Tennessee next year. Because college football, as we have talked about, and as I've often quoted Shannon Terry saying this, the guy who founded Rivals at 247 Sports and On 3, saying that college football is in the second inning of a rocket ship about to launch to space because of the 12-team playoff. Tennessee, just by sheer numbers, if you do it relative to storyline, Tennessee has the most passionate, wanting to watch fans in the country. There's a third layer to this, though. Not only do they have that passion, Dave, this isn't like the 90s. Tennessee also has probably one of the most fun brands of football to watch right now, don't they?
I think that's a factor. Yes, I do.
Yeah, they have one of the most fun brands. They have a quarterback coming in next year who is going to probably be able to light it up in that fun brand. I don't see how, if Tennessee, I think college football will be great next year overall and will generate ratings. I think it goes to another stratosphere if Tennessee's in the playoff hunt, though, with Nico Iamaleava. I think it reaches numbers that they never thought they would reach, because I think Nico is going to be, I'm just going to say it, he's going to be the most fun quarterback to watch next year in all of college football. Whether or not he wins the Heisman, he'll be the most fun one to watch.
Yeah, I would probably say that, partly because you have a coach that maybe is too overly aggressive on fourth downs, but I don't want to get into that discussion with you. But no, there was a lot of preseason hype because Joe Milton could throw an orange 105 yards. Okay. And there was a lot of preseason hype because he was supposed to step in and be a more talented Hendon Hooker. Well, you and I knew that there were questions there, but let me tell you, there is going to be a lot of hype, maybe a little bit more subdued preseason because people got a little bit burned by Joe Milton. But among the national media, there is going to be all kinds of conversation about who? Iamaleava. So I think you're going to have similar hype. So you talked about the hype train with Deion Sanders. There was a hype train with Tennessee football last year, but I think the hype train is more sustainable with Tennessee than it is with Deion Sanders. We don't know what Deion Sanders is going to do. We don't know if Deion Sanders gets bored. Tennessee, on the other hand, has a coach that seemingly wants to be here. And I would tell you guys, if I didn't think that was the case, if I heard behind the scenes, I don't think he hasn't looked around. He doesn't seem like an NFL coach to me. He doesn't seem like he wants to go to another school. So it is much more sustainable, that wow factor, than it is with Deion Sanders. As far as those other schools, again, you're talking about the nation's elite. I mean, Tennessee is right up there in terms of viewership with the best programs in the nation. That says a lot. That means a lot. And it does help you, like we just talked about, the exposure in recruiting, Caleb.
It does. It helps you hugely in recruiting. And again, like I told you guys, it helps us when we're covering Tennessee and they're that good, because when they're that good and it's aligning with college football about to take off, it's kind of the perfect storm of things happening. So again, you're going to see a very exciting football team next year. Look, this Tennessee team was this past year. It didn't help that for a Josh Heupel offense, this team was not fun to watch at all. I mean, half
No, it
their
wasn't.
they threw.
They changed the offense from going downfield to screen passes because they didn't trust Joe Milton to hit some things over the middle, and they didn't. His deep ball wasn't accurate enough. No, you're right. It was a totally different offense.
Yeah. And you're not going to see that next year with Tennessee and Nico. I mean, I've been high on him from the start, and I'm still high on him. And here's the other part of this. I used to say this about Steve Spurrier, Dave, and now I say this about Josh Heupel. This is another similarity they have. Did you ever felt like Spurrier coached a game like you were playing Madden?
How so?
You kind of got a little impatient with Madden sometimes. You wanted to rack up your stats a little bit every now and then when you were playing. You may not have punted as much as you would if you were coaching in a real game.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably like you. I went for it on fourth down a lot because I was young and naive. But
I think Josh Heupel coaches somewhat like he's playing. Like, to him, play calling and coaching a game is the fun part. It's like being a Madden player, isn't it? For him.
I would hope not.
I think that's how he approaches it.
Strain on your defense. And we're talking about real people. This isn't a video.
No, he's not exactly like that. But I think you're the one who told me he looks at the stat sheet. He wants stats. He wants the numbers.
I do believe he wants the numbers. I believe that is a factor. I do believe he learned as a coach. I believe Josh Heupel is going to be a significantly better coach in 2024. You're going to disagree with this than he was in 2023, because I've been told by several people that he said behind closed doors that he did not want to, that he learned from his mistakes in Alabama. He wouldn't go for it with the lead on his own side of the field. Now, I know you disagree with that. But that is the common belief, and it's one in which I believe in. So he's made himself better as a coach. So, yeah, I mean, I think that Tennessee's offense will be exciting, but they don't have to go for it on fourth down at their own end. Nearly.
They're not going to be on fourth down on their own end that much. They're going to be throwing it all over the field. So that's the one big difference. So this isn't anything to worry about, guys. So here's a question, Dave. What are the chances Tennessee's the most watched team in college football next year? I think there's a very good chance they're the most.
What was the top five again? But ahead of Tennessee, Tennessee was sixth.
Alabama, Ohio State, Colorado, Georgia, and Michigan.
Let's take it one at a time. Alabama, I'm going to say drops significantly, so I'll put Tennessee above them. Viewership only is what we're talking about on the field. What else?
Ohio State.
I'll say Ohio State still wins.
No, it's Tennessee. It's going to be Tennessee.
Okay. All right. Who's third?
Colorado.
No, they won't be. That's gone. That's done. I mean, unless they get really relevant again, where they're winning 9 and 10 games and pushing for the 12-team playoff. That was a neat show.
Georgia.
I will still say Georgia is above Tennessee because I think they're a better program right at this second.
Michigan,
I think Harbaugh leaves, so no. So I would have.
So you got Tennessee third behind Ohio State and Georgia.
Yeah, and Hunter and I are on the same page. He said they can jump Bama and Colorado, but Georgia and Ohio State will still stay above. I totally agree with that.
You're basing this, but you are only basing this on who you think is going to be better than Tennessee next year. But you have to add the factor of if Tennessee gets better, then their viewership could explode. Like, does an 11? Here's the question: don't you think a 10-win Tennessee draws more viewers than a 12-win Georgia?
No,
you don't.
No, I don't. Now, if you said a team that goes into November undefeated in Tennessee and has a chance to get a first round bye and they're that exciting, then I think you've got a strong argument. But as long as Georgia is still winning double-digit games in the regular season, making the college football playoff, I think people are going to go out of their way to watch them. Now, let's not mistake Atlanta for a Georgia town, but that is a big
Not.
metro. It's not, but it is a big metro area, and they will jump on a bandwagon of anything. And right now, you see more Georgia stuff around Atlanta than I ever have before. So I think there are a lot of people that will jump off the bandwagon, but hey, yeah, let's get together and have a few beers and get the wives together and then cook and let's watch the Georgia game because they're relevant.
Does that change if, as we saw 2 days ago, Bill Belichick was interviewing with the Falcons? Does that change if Bill Belichick's at the Falcons this year?
It's funny you bring that up. I know people that run two radio stations in Atlanta, and there's one that says they want to be all pro, and there's another one that says they want to be mostly college. So I would give you this: the ratings between the two, the college one wins. So I can't 100% answer if it's a Belichick. I mean, that's a splash higher, but right now the thinking is, and the station that's winning is college football and
But see,
college.
I would debate, and this is going to be the hottest take I'm going to say. There's a very good chance Tennessee has as large of a presence in Atlanta as Georgia.
As Georgia, no, but there'll be a significant second. It's the biggest booster base outside of the state of Tennessee.
Because I think Tennessee among SEC schools, all schools equal, I think, forget market size, things like that. I think Tennessee has the largest number of fans of any school in the SEC.